Unless something happens between now and then.
Greg Adams, she's tested negative twice. What could come off the rails? Greg Adams is here. What did you want to talk about? There was something I said, come in tomorrow morning at 7:40 and talk to me about, and I told you, but now I've forgotten what it was.
I believe you were interested in what Dr. Fauci had to say about colleges closing down.
Well, yeah, and I want to know what you think about that, because once again, they seem to be changing every couple of...
Well, not necessarily on this one. Not on this one.
Has Fauci been a pro-school guy from jump, as Aaron would say?
Yes. Fauci, along with Dr.
Then why is nobody listening to him?
Because they only listen to what he says when it fits whatever the agenda is.
Okay, let me start here, and I don't want to talk colleges. We'll get to that, but let's talk schools across the country.
Mm-hmm.
And if we want to pinpoint schools and the way schools have reopened in Caddo and Bossier, but I'm leaning more toward Caddo for what I want your response to be. That's up to you. Do you think in a lot of instances, the move toward distance learning, the decision to distance learn or do hybrid school, that decision is based more on, is it more cultural or is it more scientific?
It is based on one thing and one thing only, and that's fear. It is strictly based on fear. You have doctors all across the country who have said hybrid learning is the worst possible idea. And the doctors at the same time, including Dr. Fauci, Dr. Redfield from the CDC, thousands of other doctors who had all signed on to say that in-person learning is the most important thing for kids now. And Dr. Redfield's quote on it was great. He thinks that a lot of people view this as back to school versus public health. But it's actually public health versus public health, because the public health benefits that the kids receive in school far outweigh any dangers they have of COVID-19, and his numbers backed it up. In the same seminar in which he said that, he pointed out that kids run the risk of a severe COVID-19 diagnosis at about a rate of 1 in a million, which is about 10 times less than they face from the flu.
Just to interject for a second, and nobody believes me when I tell them this, from the age of about 22 down, there's a greater chance of someone in that demographic succumbing to seasonal flu than coronavirus.
No, and the director of the CDC says the same thing. It's about a 10 times greater risk of you having a severe reaction to the flu than to COVID-19.
Then why are we where we are? And did I, when I said cultural, did you interpret that to mean fear?
No. I think when I think cultural, I think more along the lines of leaders of a particular culture disseminating information and people following that. And that may be influenced by fear, but I think that this spreads across multiple cultural levels.
Then let me clarify. What I meant when I said cultural was somebody in charge looking across the landscape of the citizenry and saying they're afraid.
Yeah, that might, but I do think that the base is fear. So whether or not that decision was made from a cultural point or not, it was based in nothing but fear.
John Bell the governor has urged folks around Louisiana to take it easy, to not congregate, to not get together over the Labor Day weekend. Is this a misplaced analogy? We're like grounded kids, and Daddy Edwards is saying, okay, your grounding ends this weekend, but don't go out and do stupid stuff. Well, hold on. Don't go out and do stupid stuff. And I, as the teenage boy, am thinking, well, let me see. I'm grounded now, and if I go out, I'll get grounded again. But if I don't go out, it's like being grounded. So why not go out and have fun one weekend?
So I think that there has been a lot of misplaced anger on Governor Edwards. I continue to go back to the fact that he had people around him in his immediate circle who multiple times over the summer had told him it's time to roll back to phase 1, it's time to roll back to lockdown, and he looked them in the face and said, no, we're not doing that. We are staying in phase 2. We'll put in the mask mandate after the science was pretty much settled that works. And he has perpetually kept us from moving backwards. And he wants us to move forwards. He wants nothing more than to be in phase 3 by this point next week. So he is saying, do not do anything that could jeopardize the track we are on right now, because I, as the governor, want us to be in phase 3. I want football back. I want people in stands. I want everything moving forward. Don't screw it up because the White House is watching.